the Navy SEAL Big Four. These are 4 ways of thinking, or 4 thought devices is really what I would call them, not just ways of thinking, but thought devices, the ability to control your thoughts and thought tools that you can use to overcome what's called amygdala hijack. They teach this to us at the beginning of SEAL training, and then it's covered many times before in other parts of training, where when you get into a very difficult situation, what people call fight or flight,
yes,
right? Or other people call it lizard brain. There's a lot of different things for it, but where your brain is just running away from you. There's 4 different things that you can do to take back control of your mind and get out of amygdala hijack, get out of flight mode or fight or flight mode, essentially. So I'm going to cover what those 4 real quick are, just since we referenced it, and then we're going to go to Nick's Big Four. The first of the Navy SEAL Big Four. So really, you just get this is like the Big 5, right?
You get a bonus.
We're getting a bonus. We're getting a bonus of the SEAL Big Four. I love this though. It's always a good reminder for me too. Number 1, it's called breath control or arousal control. And you don't have to make sometimes when I share this in business talks, like I say arousal control, and you get people looking at you funny. Like, you don't have to make it weird. Arousal control is when your brain, when your fear, when your thoughts, when your feelings have been aroused in a way, not a weird way, in a way where you're no longer able to control them. Like, fear is a form of arousal.
Anger.
Right?
Anger is probably one that people have all the time.
Right. A fire has been lit,
yes,
essentially. And the ability to put out that fire starts with what's called breath control. So something that they teach us to do in SEAL training is just called box breathing. If you've ever done meditation or things like that, you may have encountered this before. What they teach us to do is breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. So it's 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 4 seconds, 16 seconds to complete a box, right? You do just a couple of those boxes and you'll be feeling way different. Mm-hmm. But the reason for that, it's not just that the breath, like just breathing in a controlled way, necessarily that amount of intake and outtake of oxygen is what changes your brain. It's the fact that you've taken conscious control of your breathing. What that is in your brain, you get out of amygdala hijack and you come back to the frontal lobe, which is where reasoning and self-control is. The other ones, and I'll go a little bit faster. So breath control is first. Then you have self-talk. Self-talk is where you're speaking to yourself. Again, that'll get you back in your frontal lobe as well. You also have mental rehearsal or visualization, where again, you got to be back in your frontal lobe. And this is where you're visualizing completing a task, visualizing getting through whatever this difficult situation is. And a lot of times these difficult situations, they're very in the moment things. Right. So you're visualizing completing it. You're visualizing overcoming. So you got self-talk, mental rehearsal, visualization, breath control, and then your last one is called goal setting or segmentation, where you take, and my favorite saying that goes with this is, you don't have to do this for forever, you just have to do it for right now. And it's where you take a very big, difficult task and you break it down into smaller tasks and smaller tasks and even smaller tasks. So if you're doing something that feels overwhelming, it's too big, right? You don't eat a pizza in one bite. You break it down into slices and then bites, right? So that's really all you have to do. Quick recap of the Big Four.